media. A St. Andrew Parish judge has ordered that dancehall artist Alkaline be released by 6 o'clock this evening if he's not charged with an offence by that time. Alkaline, whose given name is Erland Barkley, has been in police custody since Thursday when he reported to them for questioning in connection with a murder. Attorney Peter Champagny, who is representing the entertainer, said the police told the court that they are yet to charge the entertainer as they are continuing their investigations.
The superintendent came in response to the writ of habeas corpus that I had filed, and I understand from what he was saying that a major part of the complaint that he had was that my client, other than repeatedly saying that he was innocent in the interview, did not answer any questions. Now, that is a person's constitutional right. In fact, he didn't have to say anything at all. So I am a little puzzled in relation to that response. But suffice it to say, the order of the court is that he be charged or released by 6 p.m. this afternoon.
2 unidentified men were fatally shot during an alleged confrontation with the police at Villa Palms in Spanish Town, St. Catherine last night. The police say they recovered a Taurus 9mm pistol along with 6 rounds of ammunition during the incident, which occurred about 7 o'clock. The matter has been reported to the Inspectorate of Constabulary and the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM. A woman is now undergoing emergency surgery, after both her hands were severed during an attack in Mount Pito in Hanover this morning. Doctors are attempting to reattach her hands. The police are searching for her husband, said to be of Haitian descent, who carried out the attack. The woman was attacked while walking on her way to work shortly after 7 o'clock. Her husband reportedly used the machete to inflict wounds to her hands and back. It's reported that the couple was married for 1 year and had recently separated.
You check him, I check me, girl. They send a voicemail for him saying go kill him. If you don't catch him, go kill the youth. Go a youth for youth at school and kill him. So I tell the girl, say, yo, you have to report now. He might not feel himself now, he come like a boy now do nothing. They take it like you take it for a joke. So I tell him, say, yo, if you go report it, you go ball. And I see him thing happen this morning.
The woman's mother told TVJ News that her daughter had been receiving threats via her cell phone, but she failed to report it to the police. The woman was assisted to the hospital by a motorist. They were met en route by an ambulance. A senior police commander in St. Catherine is pushing to restore the image of the constabulary force. But as TVJ's Krista Campbell reports, one aspect of his plan may raise eyebrows.
Superintendent Herman Miller says plans to build a new station to house the Old Harbour Police in St. Catherine will go a far way in restoring the image of the police force. But he wants equal attention to be placed on the deportment of members of the force. And he's suggesting reverting to the early days of the JCF, when police would not be seen doing regular duties like shopping in their uniforms. He explains that it is a dangerous practice.
We have Kentucky now. Nothing is wrong for a policeman who needs to have his lunch to go inside there and sit and have his lunch. But to find these things and walking with it in your hand in public. What if you have to effect an arrest? What if you are attacked and your hands are filled with bags and all that? Understand? You are defeating your own security.
And Superintendent Miller says changes have already been made regarding a particular police uniform.
Only the persons who are doing operational duties, who are on that special team, will be allowed to wear blue denim, and persons who are working at the cells.
As for improving the physical structure of the police station in Old Harbour, Superintendent Miller says the old building is to be demolished and replaced with a multi-story facility with an underground parking lot. A temporary police post will be set up in Newlands, one of the areas considered a crime hotspot in Old Harbour. Superintendent Miller says the police post will better serve persons from communities miles away from where the station is currently located.
It's about 8 miles from here. The roads are not that bad, but they are winding. And if the police is to go there, they have 2 cars patrolling and have to send one up there. You have to call it, that is about 2 hours to go there and to return. And if when they come back, they have to go on the other side, it's another 2 hours. So 2 reports will take up almost half of the day from that side. So having a police post there now will reduce that.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
At least 3 business operators at number 51 Waltham Park Road in Kingston are this afternoon counting their losses after an early morning fire gutted their businesses. An auto shop, a furniture store and a garage were destroyed during the blaze. Inspector Victor Henry of the St. Andrew South Division says the fire started about 5:30. He said the fire brigade was summoned after smoke was seen coming from a building known to house iron, tire lubricants and other flammable material.
Town, Spanish Town, York Park, Arpetry, under the supervision of Assistant Superintendent Tennant, assisted in putting out the blaze. It caused some chaos and confusion in regards to the traffic, because traffic had to be diverted onto Tobias Road coming from the west side of Waltham Park Road, and from the east side traffic is being diverted onto the Aguilar Road.
Up to late this morning, the fire brigade was still conducting cooling down operations. A front-end loader was called in to remove the debris. There were no reports of injuries. A meeting is now underway at the Transport Authority where taxi operators will voice their concerns over government's order to remove tints from public passenger vehicles effective today. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the order as part of a crime plan aimed at increasing measures to tackle rising crime, particularly against women and children. But licensed taxi operators argue that they are getting a bad rap for what they deem to be allegations that some women who have been found dead in recent times were abducted by their colleagues. They insist that unregulated operators are making it bad for licensed taxi operators to do business. The taxi operators are adamant that if they are to remove their tints, the government should insist on the same for private operators. Now, a meeting is to be held this week to address delays in the release of 3 fire trucks donated by the Japanese government. Chairman of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation, Derek Sangster, requested the meeting with local government minister Desmond McKenzie to discuss the granting of a duty waiver for the fire trucks which are to be deployed to the parish. Mr. Sangster also responded to a statement from the St. Elizabeth Fire Chief, Conroy Gans, that Jamaica Customs has denied granting a waiver for the trucks. The trucks arrived in the island late November and were sent to the Jamaica Fire Brigade headquarters in Kingston. However, the import duties are yet to be paid to Jamaica Customs. Commentators have commended the People's National Party, the PNP, for the way in which they have selected the successor for outgoing party leader Portia Simpson Miller. Dr. Peter Phillips was the only candidate nominated to become PNP president on March 26. Mrs. Simpson Miller will step down as leader of the opposition on April 2. But after a bitter presidential race with Portia Simpson Miller in the past, commentators say by choosing a successor, the party has set the right tone of unity and political maturity.
The most effective ministers of national security. I think it bodes well for the future of the party and the country as a whole, because you need to have the loyal opposition being strong and being able to challenge and being an alternative government. And I think it is good that the whole situation has settled down.
It's not surprising, and I think that the leadership at least want to coalesce around somebody who enjoys their confidence and support and who has exhibited certain qualities and leadership that is consistent with the party's philosophy.
It is left now to be seen what is the vision that he has for Jamaica, coming out of austerity towards this economic growth and the next phase of the movement that we are in now as a country.
With the recently concluded diplomatic week, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kamina Johnson-Smith, alluded to the success of the initiative. Mrs. Johnson-Smith says the objective of diplomatic week was to bring together resident and non-resident high commissioners and ambassadors to Jamaica.
Well, there's no quantitative assessment of the success of Diplomatic Week. We have more a qualitative response. What we have are the very excellent relations that have been built, the friendships, the foundations for new levels of bilateral engagement.
Participants were exposed to the varied aspects of Jamaica's political, economic, social and cultural life. Mrs. Johnson-Smith noted that the meeting was instrumental to Jamaica's candidature for the International Maritime Organization Category C.
For us to end the week with a full and personal experience of Jamaica as a maritime state.
56 countries were represented at the 2017 Diplomatic Week. In news overseas, China